All right, welcome to this episode of For the Love of the Sport, where our mission is to educate female athletes to be successful on the stage and beyond. So in this episode, we have got Casey Samsel with us today. She is an IFBB Bikini Pro, an Olympian, and founder of Team Casey and Fit Femme Project. There's so much more I could say, but that's the basic. So how are you today, Casey?
Good. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exciting.
The Fit Forum is tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. So we're going to dive right in. Everybody always wants to know how we got our start. So how did you get started in this crazy world of bodybuilding? Like, how did you even know about it or get started in it?
Oh my gosh. So loaded question. I was approached in 2013 at the very beginning of the year. Oscar and I had just moved to New Jersey. We signed up at a new gym. It had a different feeling to it. Of course, there was a lot of bodybuilders in there. We were like, holy smokes, this is different, than a lot of the gyms I've already been to, just coming out of high school a couple of years. So some person came up to me and they asked me if I did bikini shows. I said absolutely not, and because I did not understand what the question was, but their bikini shows were a completely different string of events.
Right.
I grew up around truck shows where they do bikini shows,
Right.
So
the bikini contest of cars, you're like, absolutely not.
Yeah, it was the opposite end. So I ended up seeing a flyer and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I kind of get this now. And I was like, this is what this guy was talking about. Approached him, he said yes. And I ended up starting to coach myself 8 weeks, little to no knowledge at all, just started reading, watching, and did my first show in a very uncharismatic way, very un-Casey way. I actually left the show and I went to go sit in the audience because I was so terrified. And I had someone that I had met that day. Her name is Debbie. And she was a wiser figure competitor, and she just came at me, and I don't know how she didn't even notice I was gone. Came out in the audience, snagged me, pulled me in line, sat me there, made me go on stage, and I ended up getting first that day.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I guess I'll keep going and learning more, and it just it kind of spiraled and did some really cool stuff, man.
You turned pro pretty quick though, didn't you?
Yeah, I would say, back in the day, the physiques were vastly different.
Different.
To get to the next level, bikini was still kind of just born. So they were, still going through all the motions of really creating the perfect criteria for what you see today.
Yeah.
But in 2014, so it took me 3 shows. I think I got first in novice, third in open, won an overall. I went to NPC Universe the following year, and right after that, North Americans, and that's where I got first place and won my pro card.
Which is not normal. Like, no matter what time period you're competing in, that's really quick to turn pro. That's really good. I always like to know that because some people have really long journeys. Like for me, it took forever. I don't even know how many shows, 10 national level shows. And then most people are somewhere in between that. And then you've got you that did 3 shows and you're like, whoop, I'm a pro. So awesome. So yeah. What year did we meet? It was it probably was right after you turned pro, I feel like, or 2015. I don't even know, but you were pretty new into it. And I can't even remember. It was at the Arnold. I don't know what year now. But.
Oh my gosh. We could definitely find photos and be like, who are these chicks?
Probably
at this point.
Yeah. So how did you start Team Casey? When did that come about?
So again, I don't know why this is my premise to all of my success, but people just ask me questions and I answer with action, So I had one of my friends come to me after I had gotten my pro card, and she was like, can you coach me? I said, I can barely coach myself, girl, but I will try.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do kind of, what I'm doing for myself, for you, and just learn your body and just start to get to know what your stressors are, things like that. And even then I knew stress was an important part because, I was a kid trying to like get my life together back in 2013, 14, 15, so that was a big factor in trying to get, your physique and mindset straight. Those are my primary concerns. Anyway, she ended up competing, and she got second in open and never even hit the novice category. And I was kind of like, well, crap, I guess I'm kind of good at this too.
You're like, I can do this.
It just kept going. And I was a very, very lost teenager. I did not know what I wanted to do until I found bodybuilding, until I found the challenge, till I found the growth. And I was able to challenge myself every single day. That's kind of where I thrive. And I know you do too.
Yeah.
So you get it.
For sure. I feel like everybody or most people that compete, like they have a story of how like bodybuilding saved their life or completely changed the direction of their life. And I've just found it's so true for just almost everybody. It's amazing what the sport does for people. So you said that your main focuses are mindset and stress. Is that what you said for your coaching clients? Did I mishear you?
So, there's tons of biofeedback that goes into it now. And because of the knowledge and education and stuff that we can always expand upon, bodies and science and stuff is always evolving. We're always changing. And year to year, humans have to deal with so much more stress and so many more variables. And we're dealing with lack of connection and relatability these days, spending 2.5 years online looking at each other through screens, and just trying to make the best of it. But I will say that to kind of answer the question, survival of the fittest isn't just physically anymore. It's mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean suppress all of your emotions. It means find out what works for you. Where are you, if you're not receiving anymore from your fitness and nutrition program, it's time to flip the switch and go inside and see what we can build up, make stronger, toss, add, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So mindset is big, and it's all relative to the way we stress, the way we use the restroom, the way we move, our structure, whether we're actually opening all of these channels in our body for things to even happen optimally. And there's so many things that go into it now, and so many things that are so important, because competing isn't going to be something that you do until you hit, until you're 104 years old. Yeah. But it will help you live longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like your approach. I don't know all of your approach, but from what I do know, and that's why I recommend clients to you, is because you have such a caring and detailed approach, not just to the physical aspects of like their training and their nutrition, but on the inside mentally, but also like their hormones, and just you make sure they are healthy and whole as a human in order to compete at the next level. So that's what I love about you and what you've done with Team Casey, and why I'm guessing you probably created Fit Femme Project off of that. So tell me how that came about and what you were seeing. And most entrepreneurs start a business because they see a gap where something is needed. And I feel like that's probably what you did. So tell me about that.
Yes, very true. So I do know that there is I'm happy that it's happening. There's a bandwagon effect going on right now. Like everybody's starting to dig in and learn and get more educated and be able to help women and men stay healthy as possible, keep all their things optimally running to the best of, their abilities. But the reason that the Fit Femme Project came around was because I had dealt with one of the most challenging times in my life to this point. And it's probably pretty linear to all the other sucky times, but at the end of the day, we always look back and we're like, oh, cool, that's why that happened. Yeah. So I obviously did not have a great experience going into the Olympia 2020. It broke me, man. Getting to that show, when you get a qualification to go to the Olympia, you should absolutely want to be there. And I wanted to be there, and I was so thankful to be there, but I just mentally, I was not there. And that really stunk, because I'm a very present person. I don't take a lot of time for granted. And when you're at the Olympia, it's like you have another opportunity to do what you love at the highest level possible with all these incredible women. You should be very thankful and grateful for the opportunity. And I just didn't feel like that. So I was like, something's off, push the stop button. We've got to figure out what the heck is going on here, or you're never going to be able to be the best in the world. Not like this. So I wanted to give myself the opportunity. I stopped competing. I shut it down. I had to crack myself open like a dozen times, multiple layers. And it was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life, was be honest with myself, accept my traumas and heal from them, cope with them, think about them. You have to think about these things that's happened to you on a really profound, deep level, and try to uproot them and replant them again in a different atmosphere and environment. And I ended up just having a really stressful, hard time with that. And I ended up with something called mitochondrial dysfunction. It's where the powerhouse of your cell does not work anymore. You're not receiving hardly anything that your body's telling you to do. And that was really, really hard. It was really painful. I couldn't train. My nutrition, no matter what I ate, my body was just kind of zapped. And my central nervous system was just wired so differently. And my stress threshold was always right on the fine line of just exploding. And that happened for months. And so I was just mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually fried.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not the only one feeling like this. I can't be, I contemplated, not being here anymore a few times. That's how low things got for me. And I never, ever want women to have to feel the pain of going through mitochondrial dysfunction, because they haven't, just the pain of not feeling real, the pain of not feeling like life is a constant struggle. Mm-hmm. And if I can get ahead of it and I can help women and I can help them see the problem before it gets worse, then I've done my job. And I've assembled an army of really great women, even like the sales, social, admin, like they all play such a crucial role in what we do. And we've grown so much since I finally put my foot down and I was like, we've got to stop this role. We can't consider running ourselves into the ground until the end of time. So yeah, alignment.
Oh, that's so amazing. First of all, I'm so sorry that you went through that, but thank you for being vulnerable enough to share it, because I know how hard that is. But as you already know, you share and you're vulnerable because you know other people are going through that. And every time we share our story of what we've gone through, it gives somebody else hope of, oh, I'm not the only one feeling this. And so it just gives hope to overcome and keep going. So thank you for sharing that.
There's another side, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So where you're at now, like what are your goals? What's next for you? What do you feel will be the next thing?
In regards to like, I guess me personally, or the businesses, or
either. Just what comes to mind.
So I do plan on taking a few vacations. We've got a coach retreat planned here soon. We're hiring another coach for the Fit Femme Project. We're growing. We've got to keep up. Yeah. For me, we may just see me back in 2023. Whenever I decide that I am done, I guess healing, I guess is the correct word, but I feel healed. I feel like now I'm being able to do the maintenance work and keep up with it and evolve my habits and processes and systems to keep up with the things that I do want to do, which is compete next year. That was my goal. In 2020, I said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back in 3 years and I'm going to come back a completely new person. And so when I feel like I can do that, I will. That's awesome. And yeah.
For knowing and being okay, taking a step back, knowing that the stage will always be there. I feel like that's really hard to do, because I know when I was in the zone, it's like there was no taking a break. Like that was it. So the fact that you have the ability to just like take a step back, know like when you're ready, know you still need healing, like that's huge. And I'm so freaking excited that you're helping so many women like through that process, because it's needed too. So
yeah, the grass is only green where you water it, my friend.
I love that. I love it. So you've given us so much already, but I always wrap up the interviews with the same question. And that is, if you could give a first-time competitor one piece of advice, what would your best piece of advice be for that competitor? They've never stepped on stage before. What would you tell that person?
So let's take the stage away from the equation quick. And I'm going to say that one of the most important aspects that I have learned, I mean, I just turned 32, I'm still a baby, but my body doesn't feel that way. And I wish that I would have started caring for my joints and my muscle health and all of that stuff from day one, so that when I did get to show day, I felt good. I could get a sick pump, because we all know these delts are right here. So that's it. I got to get a sick pump before I go on stage. Take care of your body, take care of your internal stuff, and take care of your mind. Don't get misaligned. And it's easy to. And you might find yourself there for a particular amount of time, but you've got to be able to turn in when things just start feeling foggy. When you step into the fog, start asking yourself questions, hash some things out with yourself, get realigned, make sure that your mind is carrying your body to wherever you want to take it, creating a higher ceiling for all of your goals. And just remember that there is a sustainable way to do this stuff. It's all about timing, and it's all about making sure that you're assessing where your head is at the entire time.
That's amazing advice, because I wish I would have took that advice and started a little bit earlier too in caring for myself, because I just turned 35 and I don't feel 35 older. So that is very good advice. Start caring for yourself earlier, not just what you look like, but your joints, everything. So thank you so much, Casey. So if people want to find you, where's the best place to find you at? Instagram or your website, or both?
Probably my Instagram. So it's Casey Samsel _bikini.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Casey, for being on the show
That's
today.
Yeah, and tomorrow's Saturday, so it's going to be lit.
Woo!